Okay. Well, we're at the 7th inning stretch. Kind of fitting because the next group that's coming to the stage will be the 2014 baseball state champions. So.
Champ!
It's actually kind of fitting because my son tonight's playing in a tournament game. They just texted me that they won in 14 innings. They won 11-10, so it must be a sign. So we have this tradition, we've talked about this as a committee. Moving forward, if any team at PJP or our legacy schools get inducted, the president will induct them and shrine them into the Hall of Fame. We do have many other teams out there that you can potentially nominate. I hear there was a football team back in the day that was undefeated. That was also a team that you might want to think about in the future. We also have potentially maybe another team very, very soon, hopefully, if things pan out. But right, Coach Graver, one game at a time. One game at a time. So, back in 2014, Pope John Paul II High School underwent a magical season on the baseball diamond. Just 1 year prior, the baseball team was 5-14. Think about that. 5-14. In the off-season, these young boys, along with their families and coaches, committed themselves to improve by attending preseason workouts, both indoors and outdoors. During the start of the season, the team had batting practice shirts that were made, and the following words were imprinted on them. I don't know if the boys I wasn't there, but this is what I heard from all the stories in the last 14 months that I've been here. But those shirts said 5-14-14, no excuses. Is that correct, boys? Actually, I should say men, because you were boys back then, correct? So men. This was the goal of the team they had set together. The goal of the team they set together. One team. That was their goal. You see, 5-14-14 was the date for the Pac-10 championship. Their goal, but boy did they achieve the extraordinary. We learned that during this time, the 2014 PJP baseball team had scrimmaged two of the best programs, not only in the state, but also in the country. They were Malvern Prep and Penn Charter. The PJP boys baseball team was getting pressure tested, and they had done well. These young boys went toe-to-toe with great programs, and they began to believe in something special. They believed something was special that was brewing that season. They opened the season with a big win against Norristown. They demonstrated sound pitching, excellent defense, and just enough runs to win games. Now, as a baseball enthusiast and one that also coaches baseball, when I hear these stories and the strategy that was being played, I would come to an assumption that you were playing some small ball, correct? You can answer this. You're not in class anymore, right? Yeah, a little small ball? Okay. Seems like that was the formula for success, which led you into a 5-game winning streak. And the team was also ranked in the Philadelphia Inquirer in the top 10 baseball programs. So this uncharted success during the season allowed the team to have a record of 14-4. Think about that. Almost completely reversing their record from the prior year, right? 14-4 in 12 months. It's an amazing turnaround. This just shows you that through failure from the season before, they were able to believe in one another, rely on one another, trust one another, pray with one another, and build a brotherhood that would permeate onto the field of their dreams. The team realized through the 4 losses they had during the 2014 season, it reminded them that the only team that they could beat in 2014 was themselves. PJP's baseball team's historic run led them to the Pac-10 semifinal game against Springford. Little Coach Mick, because the bigger Coach Mick's your dad, right? Coach Mick, so I know you're a Springford football coach, just take it all with a grain of salt, all right? Here we go. So we all know Springford's the big public school just a mile down the road. And if you thought I was reading a script for the next Disney movie, believe me, I'm not. This Catholic school team walked together into Ram Stadium, playing Springford on their home field for the Pac-10 semifinals. PJP came out to dominate in every aspect of the game. The score of this game, if I believe correct, became a tight game. It was 4-2. And the team remembered their saying, no excuses. They also remembered, we're always in it. And for those that are baseball fans, they also knew that in the back of their head, at one time, their little league coaches, or their moms or dads, or their grandparents would always say, I didn't hear any fat lady sing. The team believed in one another. The team relied on one another. The team prayed with one another. And on that day, the team won with one another, beating Springford on a walk-off hit. The team goal was to get to 5-14-14, and the baseball team did just that. Fortunately, one of the many life lessons we learn is that sometimes we fall short from our goals. But it's how you recover that allows you to reflect upon how to grow from that experience. The 2014 baseball team that night on 5-14-14 became the runner-ups in the Pac-10. However, destiny had bigger plans. One of my favorite people in education that I look towards to gain inspiration and insights is a prophet. We all know who this person is. It's our very own Rocky Balboa. It's okay, you can laugh. It's all right. I'm an educated man. Rocky reminds us that it ain't about how hard you hit, but it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. The 2014 baseball team entered the PIAA District 1 playoffs with a new sense of resiliency and a newfound reason to prove themselves. States. The baseball team plowed through districts, beating teams like Upper Moreland and then Holy Ghost Prep at Holy Ghost Prep. So a lesson they learned before: winning on the other team's field when they're the home team. Then they beat Harriton? I'm still learning the history of our school. So they beat Harriton for the District 1 championship. But little did they realize fate will bring PJP and Harriton together once again later in this Disney movie. So you follow me so far with the history? I know many of you know this history, but those that don't, I'm just trying to recap the history for you. The team went into uncharted waters. The PA State playoff competition would lead them to Penn State University, where they faced, you guessed it, Harriton for the state championships. PJP baseball was tied, correct, boys? 2-2 with 2 outs and nobody on base in the bottom of the 6th inning. Yep. I heard there was a gentleman that played catcher for PJP who never washed his uniform. All season long, he didn't wash his uniform.
Woo!
And I spoke with him tonight, and I just want to let you know that it's encased in his parents' basement, still not washed. And I asked him if it was tightly encased, because I could only imagine. I heard that he was the one that started the rally by getting on base by an error. Most likely because of smelly, dirty pants, which ultimately distracted the other team's baseball player making the play. Once the rally began with a PJP baseball player on base, the team once again believed in one another, relied on one another, trusted one another, and prayed with one another. And I'm sure that everyone in the stands for PJP prayed as well during that moment. Somehow, during this inning, another Panther works the count and has a tomahawk swing where the ball goes over the Harriton right fielder all the way to the fence, where our Panther ball player earned a triple with an error, making the score now 4-2. I can't make this stuff up. I mean, I wasn't there, but when you hear about how it progressed, it's a Disney story. In the bottom of the 7th, PJP's defense needed to prevail. The team had to once again believe in one another, rely on one another, trust one another, and pray silently on the field while playing, as the rest of PJP's community also prayed in the stands. The 2014 PJP team was 14-3 in games decided by 2 runs or less, and they never lost a game where they had the lead. The 7th inning at Penn State on the night of June 13th, 2014 would be no different. The storybook ending seems like a fairy tale, but this was real. You see, we have to remember at the time, PJP was a small Catholic school made up of merged legacy schools learning how to find its identity. The one thing that remained constant during these early years when PJP was established was this: who we are and what we are. Our Catholic identity, along with our values and principles that are guided by Jesus Christ. And we are still that today. And on June 13, 2014, PJP pitcher delivered the pitch, and I saw the video many times. The Heritage batter saw the ball sail right past him, and yes, it was a ball. But I believe because the PJP catcher squeezed the ball so tight, the umpire just could not get away from the smell of the pants and wanted to end the game. And he shouted strike 3, and PJP's baseball team became our school's first team state champions in our history of our school. This baseball team was the first 4-year PJP team where their players came from just one school, PJP. They all started as freshmen, and they left as seniors to pursue their lifelong passions. I talked to some of them tonight to ask where they're going to school, what they're doing. It's pretty remarkable, some of the things that they're doing in their lives. It's great to hear those stories and how they're going to change the world and the new professions they decide to undertake. But as you can see, during my induction, I never mentioned not once an individual's name, because this was a team of one, where each individual contributed to the greater good of his team. Now, you may say to yourself, wow, tons of memories. When you think of a team, I think one of our inductees said it before, there is no I in team. And each one of these 25 gentlemen, along with their coaches, contributed in making this historic state championship run, which will be forever immortalized here at PJP. So at this time, what I like to do is, there's many of them, there's 25 of them, and I know we've been here for a while. I have to pull up my phone, because I might tear up some of your last names, and I'd like to have each one of you either, why don't you come up when I announce your name. And we'll start with James Blenny. And I know some of the students could make us, they're still in college, so if a parent would like to come up and represent them, that's okay. Chris Kusevitz. And his parents are here, please come on. Sean Williamson. I want to make sure Sean Williamson stands very far away from me on the stage. And I'm hoping that he learned how to wash his laundry. Evan Myers. Is Evan here or no? His parents here? Okay. Trevor O'Brien. Josh Lafferty. You know his parents are here.
Hey, Dan.
Josh is at Wider, correct, Mr. Lafferty? Joe Potarinko.
Hey, Joe. Go ahead.
Joey, your last name sounds more like an ice skater, a figure skater, but I like it though. Joe Potarinko. Brendan Heller, who's also at college, but I believe his parents are here. Mr. Heller. Mr. Heller, he's at Arkansas? Correct. Yep. Matt Williamson. Rob Catalano. Is Rob's parents here? Eric Reed. Is it Amadeo Citro? Amadeo. Rock me Amadeo Citro. Is he here? His parents, are they here? Kyle Miller.
Kyle.
Billy Hitman.
Billy.
Luke DeLeo. Kevin Shields. Heller. Baudouin. Okay. It's a French name. Connor Baudouin. Vinny Tagno.
Vinny!
Andrew Spindor. Christian Wagner, but he's not here today because he's at Alvernia, but his parents are here. So Jackie or Paul, would you like to come on up?
Hey, Paul.
See what happens when I get to know your name?
Hey, Paul. Yeah.
Paul Wagner represents his son Christian. He was the freshman, I believe, on the team, who was one of our star players last year, who's now at Alvernia College. Eric Taft. Richard McGarry. Dan Zarowski.
Hey, Dan.
And the coaching staff that coached in 2014 the boys baseball team. Coach John Duffy, assistant coach Kevin O'Brien, and assistant coach Matt Ekman. We'd like to congratulate the 2014 baseball team for a job well done on the field of play. And we welcome more teams in the future in our legacy schools, as well as our own school, PJP, to receive this great honor. Thank you.
First of all, we'd like to congratulate all the Hall of Famers here tonight on such a great honor. We'd also like to thank Coach John Paul for putting on such an incredible evening they have here for us tonight. And as a thank you from the team, we'd like to give you a banner of our state championship team and make it a tradition as each team gets elected into the Hall of Fame to hang a banner in the school of that team. So from everyone on our team, we'd like to say thank you.
They're going to open it up. They haven't seen it yet, so. And neither have we. Gentlemen, thank you for the banner because we're going to order one anyway, but thank God that you did it for us. Thank you for your time, talent, and now your treasure. Appreciate it. Congratulations. So we know it's been a long night. We're going to bring it to a close. So